Hence, it is clear that the world is an appearance and not existence. We appear to exist in pure void, like objects in a dream. The world is but pure consciousness, and there's no difference between the two. There's no difference between consciousness and the world. The one is expressed in two ways, like air and motion in space. So motion in space is air, and air is motion in space. So it is like a dream. We might like to point out the differences between our ordinary waking state and dream, but when you look into it, these differences don't really apply. We like to think that this reality has some consistency, don't we? This is the one we return to. When we wake up in the morning, we get back to the same old reality. If we pass out, this is the reality we come back to. This is like the root reality, isn't it? This is like the rock, this reality is the one we keep coming back to. But this is a feeling. This is just a feeling. It's the feeling that we have in dreams. In dreams you have memories of events that happened in your dream universe. You have that same feeling. If you wake up in a dream, that will be the reality that you've always woken up to. You'll say that, well, absurd things happen in a dream. We don't get absurd things happening in our everyday life. We don't have people flying through the air, do we? That's true. But at the same time, in a dream, these things are taken as perfectly normal, as not absurd at all. You might be having a conversation with a monkey, and it's perfectly normal. Part of you might be wondering, there's something not quite right here. But you could also have that feeling in the waking state. We normally call such people paranoid or whatever, or they might feed these feelings into conspiracy theories. So we only say that the dream is absurd when we're awake. We don't say it's absurd when we're actually in the middle of it. The feeling is one of normalcy. So if we look into it, we find there is no substantial difference between our waking state and the dream state. I suppose we could point to science, couldn't we? Science and mathematics give us a sense of objective consistency. Although when you start really looking into it, as the physicists do, things do become very intangible and dreamlike, and become based on probabilities, and become very, very strange indeed. The infinite consciousness plus the appearance is known as the world. So there's stuff going on, and there's awareness of it, and the awareness thinks about stuff going on, and this gives rise to our notions, and consciousness identifies with these notions. The world minus its form or appearance is the infinite consciousness. And this is how we get back in touch with it. We realise our own awareness. We give that the emphasis rather than the notions which we identify with. Just as consciousness creates dreams in a dreamer, it creates the world in the waking state. And even from the scientific point of view, it's the mind which does both. The mind creates our dreams, and the mind creates our whole subjective experience. From the scientific view, it does this based on electrical signals received from our senses. But I'd like to know how all of physical reality gets reconstituted from electrical signals. So it's the same thing. They're both mind-created. Dreams and the waking state are both created by the mind, and they're of the same nature. The two are constituted of the same substance. Where then is the reality of the body, even of Brahma the Creator? It arose as the first dream object in consciousness. That's if you think in terms of a creator. The creation is what is going on within our own mind. Our own mind is Brahma the Creator. Brahman alone exists, and this is Brahman rather than Brahma. Brahman is the unformed consciousness. Brahman alone exists, not even the cosmic person. And the cosmic person could be understood as Brahma, the creator. But all these are experienced as if they were real over a long period of time. We get into the habit of affirming certain notions, whether notions of God or notions of a world out there, through repeated accentuation and exposure. We get used to these notions and we accept them as our reality. Yet what is unreal, even if it has been experienced for a long period of time and by all. So whether it's God or whether it's a notion of an external world, this has been our conditioning. This is what we're conditioned to believe and to accept. What God and what the external world have in common is they're both notions. Notions which have arisen in consciousness. And they're notions which are dwelled on quite a lot, depending on the way our conditioning has been brought about. But what is unreal is unreal. From the creator Brahma right down to the pillar, all appearance of materiality is unreal, like objects seen in a dream. In a dream, we're not saying, oh, how dreamlike is this? In a dream, things are physical. We get hurt. We bang into things. We experience resistance. But it's not real. These objects appear to have a form, even as the objects seen in a dream seem to have a form during the dream. Therefore, tell me, what is material existence and what are the objects of this world appearance? Where are they? What are they? What is unity? What is diversity? What am I? What are notions concerning the objects of existence? What are notions and vasanas, or self-limitation, or psychological conditioning, which perpetuate the notion of world existence? Where are they? They are not. Realize this and rest in a state of nirvana. Now, there's one tendency you have to look at here, and the tendency is to assume that what is obvious need not be questioned. Look into what you believe is obvious. Look into your natural assumptions. Examine them, and you'll find that they are notions. What is the physical reality of notions? You have notions of physicality, but there's no physicality. You need to look into it, because this is not just an idea. I'm not just spreading a notion about notions. Look into the reality of your own awareness. This is consciousness. Look into the reality of your attention. And when you've realized the notional nature of everything, what happens is you become aware of the reality of awareness again. This is nirvana. And it's voluptuous.